Okay, here's an official looking car. I imagine that is Kristina Keneally, Commonwealth limo, chauffeur driven. I was waiting by the door. Obviously I was in the wrong place. Shadow Minister Kristina Keneally was on Insiders this morning in the studio, and I thought I would pop down to see if I could have a word. I was waiting near the front door, but I was trying to keep an eye on the intersection here, because sometimes the guests emerge in chauffeur-driven luxury from the underground car park at the ABC and sometimes get held up at the traffic lights here. Sadly, I couldn't be in two places at once, and when I saw what looked like a limo stopped at the lights, I ran down. Now, I can't confirm that Kristina Keneally was ensconced in the back seat of that luxury chauffeur-driven BMW, which I presume may have been a fuel-guzzling, CO2-emitting luxury vehicle. However, if it was her, I regard this as another blatant example of scumbag ALP utter hypocrisy about climate change and reducing people's carbon footprints. Now, I believe that Kristina Keneally lives in Sydney, so it's entirely possible that she's flown down to Melbourne, possibly expressly to be on this morning's Insiders show, when she could have conceivably appeared via video link, which a number of journos have done recently, but perhaps it wasn't good enough for the powers that be, or Kristina herself. That might have been the way that it could have been done. But in any case, again, assuming that Kristina Keneally was luxuriously ensconced in the back of the chauffeur-driven BMW limo this morning, and maybe she's being whisked back out to the to Tullamarine Airport for a flight back to Sydney or Canberra or wherever. But I regard it as rank hypocrisy. I had hoped to have an opportunity to chat with Kristina and ask why she thought that Christian Porter was treated in a much more vigorous and uncomplimentary fashion in relation to the historic rape allegation which was raised against him by, my understanding, an unfortunate deceased lady. And my recollection is that the main reason that this matter came to public notice was because the unknown deceased lady had told some people about her allegation, and a lady named Jo Dyer was interviewed, I believe, on the 7:30 report on the ABC about her recollections of the conversation with the alleged victim in this matter. And so what appears to have been a hearsay witness was a significant basis for the media and political pile-on of Christian Porter, which, as far as I can see, has resulted in the end of his political career, while a lady named Kathy Sheriff, who is still very much alive and has made first-hand commentary about what she alleges was her rape by Bill Shorten back in the 1980s. As far as I know, Kathy has never been invited to appear on the 7:30 report or any other primetime TV news outlet. And I just wonder about the what appears to be a double standard in the reporting of historic rape allegations. I'm also very much intrigued by what might be described as fanfare in relation to the experience of Grace Tame, whereby she was subject to, from what I've read, subject to sexual assault by a teacher when she was 15. She has become Australian of the Year as a result of her activism in relation to this matter, and I applaud her totally. But I'm struck by the different treatment by news media, and specifically their ABC TV News. Their coverage of Grace Tame's circumstances with the treatment of the ABC News division with the experience of Simon Major, who, when he was 14 years old, was invited on a location scouting expedition by the then ABC children's TV producer John Stevens, and this became public in 2017 when the Daily Telegraph in Sydney reported that John Stevens had pleaded guilty in Gosford Court to indecently assaulting then 14-year-old Simon Major. John Stevens was sentenced, after pleading guilty, sentenced to a term of imprisonment, but was subsequently released early, I believe, because of ill health. But if you go on the ABC News online website and use their search facility and type in the name Joe Dyer, the hearsay witness in Christian Porter's matter, you'll find ABC News reports in relation to her and the Porter matter. But if you go on the ABC News online site and search for John Stevens or Simon Major, you don't get any hits at all, which I regard as a disgusting, blatant, unacceptable double standard by the purported most trusted news organisation in Australia, their ABC. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders. Good morning, Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders. In the event that you are watching this video, it means that I was unable to speak with any of the studio guests, if there were any today. So I thought I'd do a quick piece to camera and call it a day. Had there been anybody passing who was going into the studio or coming out of the studio, I would have referred to the recent assemblage of Quad delegates in Melbourne to discuss what to do about, amongst other things, the Ukrainian situation. And I was going to ask them if perhaps Quad should simply try the hashtag approach, which Jen Psaki used so successfully back in 2014 after the Russians invaded and seized Crimea. That worked out so well. I was, speaking of hashtag diplomacy, this was one of my favourites from the Obama era. Again, hashtag bring back our girls, which seemed to succeed beyond their wildest imaginings. And if neither of those worked, they could have tried Obama's direct approach of colluding with Medvedev and asking him to pass along a message to Vladimir. We'll await developments, but it remains to be seen whether what the Biden administration and the EU and NATO are doing now is going to succeed. Fingers crossed for the people of Ukraine, and fingers crossed for all of us. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders.